Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. This is my game one reaction. Now, I told you guys I'm gonna do a slight review regarding the games in the playoffs, but I'm only doing it for game one as of right now. After this, I'm gonna do a first round review, second round review, and then conference finals and so on and so forth. But for now, the game ones that we've gotten so far, they've told us a lot and they've confirmed some things as well. I'm gonna go through each one, not gonna spend too much time on them because I'm sure you guys watched, but if you didn't watch, I'm gonna recap a little bit of what went on, the kind of narratives that have come out of each game, and basically what players really look like they're looking to either take a leap or continue their playoff greatness. But before we get into the video, like, comment, and subscribe if you're new, and let's get into it. The first game of the playoffs was the 76ers and Nets. This was a series I already said I expect the 76ers to pretty much win it pretty handedly. If the Nets do win one or two games, it's more than likely because the Nets were either playing crazy good that game or the 76ers were just BSing. But regardless, that's just what it is with this series. You could very easily tell that the 76ers were just the better team. Every single time Joel Embiid touched the ball, the Nets were sending a double team at him, and at first it might have seemed like it will work, or it makes sense to make everybody else beat you besides Joel. But when they started to hit shots and they started to hit them in the plentiful, I remember at one point they were 20 for 40, which is crazy. You probably should live with Embiid scoring and everybody else not scoring. That's probably what I would go with. Him dropping 40 while everyone drops 8, 9, 10. I can live with that, and I could probably win a game a lot better. I remember at one point the Nets were shooting over 60% and they're still losing the game. That tells you a lot. So hopefully Jacques Vaughn does keep showing Joel different looks. He did say he was going to do that. Doubling him off the touch, not very smart. He's an excellent playmaking big, so that's just what it is. Everybody on the Nets did not do their job with the exception of Mikal Bridges and Cam Johnson. Those are the only two players that really seem like they were ready for playoff basketball, which isn't a surprise because they came from a team that was just contending in the West. So I kind of expected from them. But like I said, Philly is clearly better than Brooklyn. They're going to take this series pretty handedly. But Mikal Bridges, he's definitely coming into his own, and we saw that in this first game. Granted, he only took, I believe, 3 shots in the second half. He still was cooking in the first half. I think those 3 shot attempts, they're not on him so much as it's on his team. His team wasn't really producing, so it's much easier to hone in on one guy when the rest of the team isn't contributing as much. The next game after that was the Celtics and the Hawks. I told you guys in my predictions video I wasn't going to spend much time on it, and there was good reason for that. They were up 33 at half, they being the Celtics. They came out the gate shooting, they came out the gate looking like they're pretty much ready to take over the playoffs, and I'm not gonna lie, their defense looked amazing. Trae Young played awful. The only guy that could really get anything going was DeJounte. The Hawks kind of started to make a run, but it really wasn't a real run. We knew that was short-lived because the Celtics went up by 20 probably like 3 minutes right after that run. So I expect this to be Celtics in 4. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. Told you guys in that predictions video, and I think Boston actually jumped out to become the title favorites, especially after Giannis's injury. On the opposite end of the spectrum from the Hawks and Celtics, you got the best series in the West with the Knicks and Cavs. Jalen Brunson, he is a godsend for New York. He had 27, and he didn't even provide too much in terms of playmaking. He only had 2 assists, which I'll live with that. I'll live with that. If he can focus on scoring and we could get assists and playmaking elsewhere, which Josh Hart, fundamental in their win. Fundamental. Hopefully his health is intact and he can play. If somebody else can facilitate and Brunson can mainly focus on scoring, it's scary for them. Now, you could tell that Evan Mobley and Jared Allen, they had playoff jitters. Even Darius Garland in some moments seemed like playoff jitters. The only guy that was ready for Cleveland was Donovan Mitchell. We already know he's a playoff vet. That's not to say the Cavs aren't going to come along. I think they will. I think Evan Mobley and Jared Allen are going to wake up a little bit. They had that first game under their belt, and they were at home, which it's even tougher. A lot of times it's a lot more pressure to perform in front of the home crowd than the away crowd, because the away crowd, they're expecting you to play bad. They want you to play bad, so you don't have as much expectation. So So hopefully they shake the jitters. I think Cleveland's going to take game 2 because it was a good game. Don't get me wrong. Even when those three weren't playing too well, Garland did put up a healthy amount of points. We've seen him be a lot more efficient in other games, but I think that they will come around. They're going to take game 2, and it won't be that bad. I still have the Cavs winning this series. The counterpart to that series on the West Coast is the Kings and Warriors. This is going to be a generational series. There's nothing else to say about it. Steph had 30 points, but it's crazy to say he had 30 points and De'Aaron Fox still did an amazing, dare I say phenomenal job on him on the defensive end. Even with Sabonis having an off game, Malik and De'Aaron, they were able to supplement that with 70 points combined. That's crazy. That's amazing contribution. And I want to say Malik Monk was 15 for 15 from the free throw line. A couple things I got from this game is that the Kings have excellent team defense when it came to guarding Steph. And the Warriors, they still look like a contender. I know they lost, albeit by 3 points, but they were in Sacramento. The Kings, realistically, they're supposed to win that game. The Kings are the higher seed, so that's a game I expect the Kings to win. And the way that the Warriors played, they played well just like the Kings did. So I'm not too worried about the Warriors. A lot of people were talking about should they hit the panic button, things like that. Not at all. This isn't even close to that. Again, the Kings are supposed to win that game. They have home court advantage for a reason, but I'm not gonna lie. The Warriors are gonna take game 2, and once they take game 2, I'm not worried about the Warriors at home. Nobody should be worried about the Warriors at home, and very quickly they could go up 3-1 in this series. So just keep watching for this series. Yes, Sacramento played amazingly, but it's a 7-game series for a reason, and the defending champs know that better than anybody else. Now, the best series in terms of personal bias and things of that nature is the Lakers-Grizzlies series, and oh my goodness, Rui Hachimura, Austin Reeves, come on, bro. I don't know what else to say. Austin Reeves is slowly approaching stardom. I'm not gonna say he's a star yet, but he's getting there. He sustained this level of play since about February, March. I remember in my video preparing for the playoffs and when I was talking about the Lakers in the play-in game, or I believe it was a video where I said, can the Lakers hold the 7 seed? I was saying if Austin Reeves can return to that February, March form, which he did, sky's the limit, and we saw what he could do. Rui Hachimura, he's been in the gym with Phil Handy, and it shows with his jumper. I used to watch some Rui Hachimura a little bit older before he came to the Lakers because I didn't know too much about him. And one thing that I was seeing very often was that his jumper can be very flat at times, and you could see with the work with Phil Handy, he's gotten a lot of arc under that shot, and it's made all the difference. Obviously, I'm not expecting him to sustain 28 points, but we're also not expecting LeBron to have such an ordinary game like he had. LeBron did not have a LeBron playoff game. LeBron had a season is starting, it's October, November time kind of game. Let's be real, that's the kind of game LeBron had. Past that, AD, phenomenal on defense. 6 blocks, I could take that home. You had us scared for a little minute in the first half, I'm not gonna lie to you, but hopefully you were building your pain tolerance up, because I don't know what the hell happened. When we looked at the replay, I swear we looked at it like 4 or 5 times in a row, looked like nothing happened. Best thing I could come up with, and this is just based off of me playing sports, and I didn't even play at that high of a level, he had a stinger, and you know, you get hit in certain parts, it might hit a nerve, and you get that like funny bone feeling. That's what I assumed happened, but to say you wasn't feeling your arm, bro, like get your big ass off the court and get in the locker room, because you're tweaking, bro. He didn't even get hit that hard. So I'm just glad he came back and he did make an impact, so I'm not gonna shit on him too much. But we thought Street Clothes AD was making a comeback, a fierce comeback at the worst possible time. The game following that, which I didn't expect, but it happened because Giannis got hurt in the second quarter. The Miami Heat were able to take game 1 from the Bucks. We all know the Bucks are the better team, but Miami taking that game 1, it's kind of big, especially because in my eyes, Miami is one of the best teams to go against the Bucks, because they're one of the few teams in the East that have that absolute dog that's gonna go right back at the Bucks 10 times harder than the Bucks are coming at them. Pause. I had to slow down, but that was kind of crazy. But y'all get the point. Now, I'm not at the point where I feel like I could call the series because, again, Giannis got hurt very early. It's a lot easier to play a game when the main guy you're game planning for, he's out. the rest of the game plan, it made it 10 times easier. So I can't call it. I can't say it's going to the Heat. Now, if Giannis is hurt and he's playing and you can see him favoring a little bit, it might go to the Miami Heat. And if the Heat upset the Bucks, I know there's going to be some nasty narratives, but Giannis is hurt, so I'm not even going to go there with that. Regardless of anything else, still watch out for the Heat, because if anybody can beat this Bucks team, especially right now, it's them. It feels like the Western Conference has the best games. I think so myself, because the Suns and Clippers, phenomenal matchup, phenomenal game. We knew this going into it, even with the Clippers not being with Paul George. The tail of the tape was pretty much the Clippers bench showing up, while the Suns bench did not show up. That's in part to do with Monty Williams not playing the bench too much and playing some guys on the bench that makes you scratch your head. He wasn't playing Damian Lee, who's been playing very well towards the end of the season. Wasn't really playing Darius Bazley, who is a pretty good defender. So I'm not understanding where he was going with that, but I don't know. The Clippers just showed up. Their support guys showed up a lot more. Russell Westbrook did not play well on the offensive end, but he made a very big impact, and he played great defense all night long on Devin Booker. He had the key block to stop Devin Booker and the key assist to basically put the dagger in the Suns. I mean, the game was already over with. He still had the wherewithal to know that the game is still in play, grab the ball, stepped out of bounds real quick, and just launched it up court, while everybody else on the Suns expected him to kind of take his time to inbound the ball, but Terrence Mann escaped on the back end, got a free dunk, and that essentially just for sure put away the Suns. I'm gonna need Ayton. I need you to get a little bit more aggressive. It's obvious you don't want to be in Phoenix. Your body language has showed it all year. It's showing it now. We could tell, but Zubac should not be doing what he's doing to you. We could tell you don't want to be there, but don't go out like this. It's crazy. And last but not least, the Nuggets and T-Wolves. And I don't want to spend too much time on this, but I'm going to address the people on Twitter, and there are plenty of you, especially Minnesota fans, that were saying Rudy Gobert was going to lock up Jokic. First of all, I'm pretty sure, correct me if I'm wrong, Jokic had 40 on Gobert. Gobert was talking shit, and Jokic was like, relax, I have 40. That same guy y'all thought was going to lock up Jokic. And the crazy part is, Jokic didn't have a Jokic type game, and they still dog walked y'all. Like, the only guy that had an okay game was Anthony Edwards. Everyone else disappeared. Cat, he's been disappointing. I don't know what's going on. His aggression's not there. And I don't know. He just doesn't seem engaged. He doesn't seem locked in. Now, maybe he has to still get a little bit of a rhythm because he's been out for pretty much all year. But I don't know what it is. He just needs to figure it out and get more aggressive, because he has the tools to be one of the best bigs in the league, but we haven't seen that. And it's becoming one of those things where it's like, okay, you know, we're looking at our clocks like, Cat, it's your time now. Where you at? What are you doing? So we need you to add a little bit more aggression to your game. Go at Jokic as if you're better than him, as if you think you're better than him. You're not, but go at him with that same delusion and make some shake, because y'all have an opportunity to do something that nobody else has. And I don't think y'all are going to do it. I'm going to say that now, because the Timberwolves suck. Your fan base is dumb, and the Nuggets are just the best team in the West. But that's just, it is what it is. Gobert can't guard Jokic, neither can Cat. And he's going to eat all series. And again, he didn't even eat last night. That's the craziest part about it. But that's all I got for you guys in this one. A lot of these games were a lot more surprising than you might have realized. I think this has been one of the best playoff weekends since I could remember. But that's just me. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. And until next time, it is your boy TB with the greatest hoop stories and debates on the tube. And I'm out. Peace.